So, Jason, one of the things that you've been doing a lot of in the last few months is coming up with these great titles for podcasts. And I'm going to throw a title at you. That's what this one's going to be called. The Side Channel Apocalypse.
Yeah.
It's good. We need a good we like to talk about apocalypses, apocalypse, whatever it is.
There's so many apocalypses going on at any given time.
Apocalypse. So what is this apocalypse? I think I know, but go ahead.
So we talked in a recent podcast. Look it up if you haven't watched it. Side Oracle attacks.
Yes.
And I specifically talked about HQC as a alternative chem.
Right.
But
there's worry about side Oracle attacks with implementations of HQC as it happens.
Because by the very nature of how it works, an Oracle is something you can go to and ask a question. Mm-hmm. And if that Oracle, in the case of a crypto system, is leaky in terms of, hey, if you ask me a certain thing a certain way, a certain number of times, you can get insights.
Right.
And perhaps reverse to the private key.
Right.
And therefore, any math that's vulnerable to that, you could say it's vulnerable to a side Oracle attack. Mm-hmm. But we're talking about side channel apocalypse.
Okay.
I'm going to bring you, Tim, to just one area here, which is think about one of the things you and I said on this podcast, which is you don't need a quantum computer to implement post-quantum algorithms.
Correct.
Great.
Yep.
But you do need some fairly heavy-duty hardware acceleration sometimes. Okay.
Sure.
Because the keys are just bigger.
And the math is complicated.
Math's complicated.
Yep. Okay.
And unfortunately, Tim, in order to, in the past, in order to democratize decryption, we went with really small, cheap, minimal types of hardware acceleration in order to do RSA.
Sure.
That's why RSA is so popular.
Right.
Because of the fact that, man, we were able to make what it took to do it very cheap.
And it became, at the time when RSA became the standard, we needed that because we didn't have nearly the compute or the bandwidth or any of what we have now.
So, Tim, here is my bottom line, which goes back to the title. Why that title? Why the apocalypse of side channel attack? It's because of this. We discuss implementation gaps.
Yeah.
You mention that all the time. I mention that all the time. The implementation of PQC keeps us up at night.
Right.
Because we saw what happened to Psych.
Yep.
We saw what happened to probably all the things that Dustin Moody, when he comes on again, he'll tell us all the kabloom.
There's worries about HQC. There's worries about Falcon. Yeah.
NIST standardized the math. What about the secure implementation in the silicon?
Yeah.
Tim, that is a wild, wild west. We're nowhere. Mm-hmm. And that's even at the HSM level, and Bruno Couillard warned us of that. Uh-huh. Wow. If I was an adversary coming right out of, a white hat adversary simulator coming out of school right now, I'd become a side channel guru and have a field day with all the weak hardware.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can, the thing about a side channel attack is you can explore it to your heart's content. All you need is to own a representative example of that hardware, put it in your lab, and study it until there's no more studying to be done, right? Now, individual keys are going to be different, but if you can figure out how to extract a key, that will be a consistently useful technique. It'll be an effective technique.
And I'm going to say something. Nobody listen to this and nobody repeat this.
All right.
Add AI to that.
Sure. Right. Yeah, you get AI involved, and now what we talked about before, instead of having one smart person in a lab doing the research, you have 1,000 smart people working around the clock.
And this is actually what AI is really good at.
Very, very good at. Absolutely.
There it is, Tim.
Wow. Okay, so the consequence, the upshot, let's just say it in no uncertain terms, is we all have to be very worried that really all of the implementations of these PQC algorithms, the ones we have now, futures ones that are going to come, turn out to be subject to side channel attacks in their actual implementations. And you as a user, as a purchaser and implementer of this, you're not even going to know.
How bad is it already with IoT devices?
Yeah.
It gets worse, is the answer.
Yeah. So what do you do?
We have to start to put our energy, like think about all this, making sure we're implementing PQC well in the software. We also have to think about it in the hardware.
Yeah.
And as Bruno told us, you've got to think about it to the HSM level, especially.
Yeah. Right. Right. Because if you can do it to an HSM, there's, yeah.
Have a nice sleep tonight, Tim.
I don't think I will be.